Hello.
Hi,
Are we here? We're
I'm
here.
good. I'm good. Just
Hello.
just
This
a little.
is Cindy Lou of the Be Bold You podcast, broadcast, whatever it is we're calling it this week. And I am here with an amazing guest and a really good friend of mine, an author, an editor, an amazing person to help you publish your books. I mean, she's doing it all. She's doing it all. In case, though, however, you have never met me before, I'm the founder and creator of the Be Bold You, or the Be Bold You personality expression system, and the author of Becoming Bold You, which is a guide about that system and kind of how that all works. And I'm working on a workbook, which will be out soon. And I'm talking about my books here in the beginning because we're going to shift from talking about my books to talking about Joyce's. She has been writing and she's got a new book coming out very, very soon. Very, very
Yes.
soon, like maybe even tomorrow.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that book today. So, Joyce is as I said, my friend. And how long have you been editing? And then tell them a little bit about yourself, but answer that question first and then.
Okay. I have been editing since 2015. I was editing for a client, doing contracts for editing since 2015. And then I finally started doing it on my own. Yes.
Okay. So tell them who you are and what you do.
Okay. I am Joyce Black. I'm an author, publisher, editor, and I also work full-time still. And I love working with people. I have been writing since forever, mainly doodling in journals and things like that, but organized writing since high school. But professionally finishing a book 2016 finally. So the writing process was a long journey because I love to read. I read a lot and I love just hearing other people's thoughts and stories and ideas. So that first interested me. And that's basically who I am. I love to read anything with books, reading, writing, editing, I enjoy. And I live in the Chicagoland area. So
yeah, Chicago. How's the weather?
Cold.
Like literally, how's the weather? Yeah.
Cold. It's 7 degrees right now. I was just out. It doesn't feel like 7 because the sun is out and it's not windy. Windy and no sun makes it much colder. So with the sun out, to me it feels like it's 30. But it's actually 7. So I came in and I looked up, I'm like, it doesn't feel too bad because they said -5 or 7 this weekend. And so I was afraid to look, and it's actually only 7 degrees. So it's not really bad. I can deal with 7 with no wind and sunshine. So it's doable.
Doable.
Yes, it's doable.
She's like, I can do that. I can do that.
Yes, definitely.
We turned those off too. But
I thought we did. I came through. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
That's okay. That's funny. That's hilarious.
I don't know.
So to help you relax and also to ask a few fun questions.
Okay, I like fun.
I've got some fun Be Bold You questions.
Uh-oh.
These are super, super simple, but not always easy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does.
So, do you consider yourself more of an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh, definitely an introvert. I am introverted as far as you can go. To people that don't know me, yes, I'm totally introverted. Yes.
What phrase or quote encourages you the most?
I'm glad you asked that. Okay. When I was younger, I saw a quote that just totally stopped me in my tracks. And I think I don't know if it was like in a store and I bought it. It was a page, back then you could buy little posters. And it was a poster that said, when was the last time your own possibilities gave you goose pimples? I never forgot that. I know. I loved it. So I bought it and I put it in my room. And every day I would just look at it. And it gave me the opportunity to think of things I wanted to do, things I dreamt of doing. And it opened up my imagination. When was the last time your own possibilities gave you goose pimples? And you see, I still remembered, I can still see the poster somewhat on my wall. And it totally made me start thinking outside of my little world. That is a quote that I'll never forget. Yes.
That is an amazing quote.
Yes, it is. I don't know who wrote it, but I never forgot it.
And what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is like a purple lavender. It's like I like lavender. I like royal. It's in the purple family. So like the colors my name is in. Yes, I like that. Yes, the color around. Yes, that color.
That color. Yes. That is one of my brand colors. So there you go.
And I like that color.
That is the color of a clover flower in nature.
Clover. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what energizes you?
To me, I think it's weather. Nice sunny day. Waking up, hearing nature, birds, even if it's rain, even when it's snowing. I don't like snow. I'd rather look outside at snow, but nature, just nature. Rain, hearing streams, seeing water, sunshine, things like that.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me to go outside with you, though.
No, I don't want to go outside.
Really warm.
Really? Oh, good.
I only like really, really warm weather. I don't like cold.
That's me.
And you're in Chicago?
Yeah.
Have you thought about this?
Yes, I was born here and I moved away for 6 years. 1 year in Texas, 5 years in Florida. Loved it. Loved the weather. Started feeling homesick. Moved back home. I don't know.
So you miss the people.
Yes, I miss the people, not the weather. I definitely miss the people, but not the weather.
Yeah, folks ask me if I want to move back to the States, and I'm like, I miss the people, but not the place.
Exactly.
It never felt like home. So it's not. It's not because of the current situation. Mm-hmm. It's just never felt like home ever.
The States never felt like home.
Nope.
That's how I felt in Florida. It always felt like I was on vacation because most of my vacations I'd fly into Florida and then we'd get on a cruise or we go, someplace. So when I moved there, it felt like I was always on vacation and then I was never home. But Texas, to me, Texas felt like home, but I was only there 1 year. So, yeah.
Texas is warm.
Mm-hmm. I was in Dallas. I love Dallas. It was beautiful. But the job moved. So we were relocated to Florida.
Okay. So what's been your favorite age?
Okay, my favorite age, I would have to say when I was 35. 35 pops in my head. 35, and also right now, I'm enjoying life a lot more right now.
Yeah.
35, I enjoyed it a lot. Why did I enjoy 35? I don't know why, but I did. I remember. Yeah. But right now, I'd have to truly say, overall, right now, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
There's something about plus 50 for me that's really been
Hmm.
great.
Yes, that's the. I don't want to say the age, so
I
plus
know it's like
50,
plus
great.
50.
Plus 50,
I'm almost able to say no, not yet. 2 year and a half.
not yet. No, but
I don't
yeah,
have much time before.
the age I am now, I am enjoying life. I'm enjoying me. I'm feeling more. I'm more at peace with me than
Yeah.
I've ever been. I
Yeah.
sleep. I don't worry. I don't stress as much. So
I know,
yes.
isn't that a really great shift?
Mm-hmm.
Like all of a sudden you just go, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
You don't care
remember,
about the little stuff.
yeah, I remember how much panic I would go into if something happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what comes to mind instantly is if my credit card it had a red number come up. Not my credit card, but my checking account had a red number
Mm-hmm.
come up. Like I would panic. I would like
Yeah,
go into this full-fledged craziness, and it didn't change anything.
it
And
doesn't.
now I see that happen. I'm like, oh, darn, I forgot to transfer again, or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, well, okay, my own fault.
exactly.
Right. Like, and
You
you just flow with it.
keep going. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this might
Exactly.
be a fun question for you because
Uh-oh.
you're such a book reader. So what
Oh
book
my
are you
gosh.
reading now?
Well, actually,
How
this is not.
many? Let me ask, how many books are you reading now?
I am actually. That's funny. I'm reading this book, Self-Editing for
Self-editing
Fiction
for fiction
Writers,
writers.
and I'm reading a proofreading handbook. Most people don't read books like this because that's not normal, but this is what I do. So I'm reading and looking over them and I just ordered a new one yesterday. So another, English grammar type thing. I know.
We authors who are not natural editors, although I tend to do a lot of my own
Yes,
edits,
you do.
but we appreciate you who love to like figure out the English language and see
Hmm.
how it ought really be. And then we get to say, no, I don't care if that's how it's supposed to be. I want it said this way anyway. And the author does have the final say, right? In all
Right.
editing
Exactly.
things, right? It's
Exactly.
the author's work and they get to. So
They
we'll
can
talk
say
about that a
yes,
little bit.
no. Yep.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little more. But
Yeah.
what is the most exotic place you've ever visited?
Most exotic. Oh my gosh. The most exotic place, let me see. I would have to say, wow. See, it's hard. I've been to a lot of islands, but
South Chicago?
no, not Chicago. Not Chicago. No, 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 no. No, I like when because I love cruises. So I've gone on a lot of cruises.
Oh,
And I'm trying
fun.
to think of the most exotic one.
Oh, just give us
Well,
3 you've been.
okay, Grenada. For some reason, I loved Grenada. I think they had really pretty waterfalls. Grenada was really pretty. Um, there was another one. Puerto Rico is really pretty
Puerto
because of
Rico was awesome. I haven't
yes,
been to many places, but Puerto Rico.
yes, the cobblestone streets and the little shops and everything. That was really pretty.
So you were in San Juan.
Yes, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I stayed there. I stayed there for a week. I went to visit with a friend, so beautiful. Puerto Rico, Grenada, and exotic. Hmm. I'd have to say, like when you go on a private island, like with a cruise ship, it's not exotic, but it's nice and peaceful. Um, Labadee, Haiti, where
So they
most of
take you on
Haiti,
private islands?
they have their own little island that the ship docks at. So it's only the people that work on the island and then the people off the ship. So that makes it really, really nice and exclusive. And that was nice because the water's beautiful. Yes, the water's beautiful, and it's just I could just okay. Yeah,
She's there. She's there in her mind.
I'm there in my mind, even though there's snow outside. I'm there in my mind.
Do you create to live or live to create?
Wow, live to create. Live to create.
And name the person who's had the most influence on your life, whether they're dead or alive.
Wow, that's hard. Both of my parents in different ways, and they're both deceased. They're both gone from this earth. I would say my mom. My mom.
Yeah. It's so funny how many people that's like the main influence. And every time that comes up, I remind those who are watching this on the live on demand or live, if you're a mama and you're feeling like, where has my life gone? Know that almost every time it's my mother that is the response for this answer. I would say 80% of the time it's my mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It amazes me.
Wow.
And what one word describes you best?
I was thinking something. Optimistic. Optimistic.
So Miss Vanessa Collins is watching with us, and she has said, come back to the snow. No, I am not coming back to the snow, Miss Vanessa Collins. Forget it. For those who are listening to this on audio, I do record this live on a video, so we have people interacting with us. Oh my goodness. And if you want to see all that, you can go over to Facebook or YouTube and you can see that. So tell me about writing Trapped in Deception 1, and now you're coming out with Trapped in Deception 2, which Vanessa's very happy about, is out finally, or coming out, being released. So tell us about the journey of writing those books.
Okay, Trapped in Deception 1 was my very first book, and I have it right here. This was my very first book. The first, as Vanessa calls them, the first baby. So when I first wrote this book, I was in her class, and it had taken me forever because I had it in a notebook. I had it in my head. I had it partially in a computer, and I could not organize it correctly until, like I said, the class. And just finishing the book was such a rewarding experience. Not that it was the greatest book ever, but for me, I'm just saying it was my book. It was something that I wanted to do. I loved it. And because I finally got my ideas on paper and available to read for anyone that wanted to read it, it was like the sky opening up in the first sunshine. It's like it was such a good feeling because I had accomplished something I wanted to do. I had talked about it, researched it, but didn't know how to get through with the project. So it was.
So tell us about the project. This is a fiction.
It's a fiction book about a girl who's in college, and she has a normal family: mother, father, sister, brother. And she lives in the Florida area. She lives in a warm climate. So I'm literally loving her life. And she has to make decisions when meeting new people. She meets, a guy, and his family situation is different. But he's in school with her. And she has to make choices along the way. And I just wanted to write about different characters and people meeting each other and making decisions, right, wrong, good, and just put you in a position where, okay, if I'm in this position, what decision will I make? And that's with everyone every day in life. So That's what I wanted to write about. Because another
Yes.
quote is, life is full of choices, not chances. You all make choices. Yeah, it could be a chance, but you get to decide which choice to make. So,
Yeah, every chance comes with a choice, right?
yes, definitely. Definitely. Yes.
Because just because an opportunity comes your way doesn't mean you seize that opportunity.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And it could be a great opportunity, but it could just be not right now. It could just be later or no thank you. It really depends. Yeah. So choice.
So, and I have not read the first book,
Hmm.
but I have read the second one, or at least
Hmm.
part, an
Yes.
iteration of the second one.
Hmm.
And I was able to immediately become friends with the people in there and understand who they were and kind of what had gone on and happened.
Hmm.
How, I mean, I asked this question of all of my guests. If I could only ask you one question, what would that question be? And yours was so interesting. I decided to put it on the screen here. Did you ever think you would become friends with your characters?
Um, yes. Yes. You know what? I think when you're writing, um, you become friends even with the characters that are the villains, because you get to get inside and know what they're thinking and why. It's like you sort of have that omniscient view where you know why they make the decisions they make, good or bad, because in their mind that's the only decision they think they can make. So you become friends with them because you want other people to understand them, even though they're not in the right place. They're not the coolest, or they're not the smartest, or they're the baddest. You still understand them and sort of become friends with them because you created them, and you create these characters to play this certain role. And yeah, but when I first started, I didn't think it, but once I got into writing them, I would dream about them and think about them, and like like they were real people, because you want them to do certain things throughout the story. Yeah,
So, do you have backstory stuff written? Do you write backstory, or do you just process backstory in your head?
I process it in my head. I do have the characters written out, and they're about them, but no backstory. I do not, and I that's a good idea. I like that. Most of it is here, which isn't helping. It needs to be on paper.
Yeah, I use Scrivener,
Mhm.
and you
I've
don't know
seen
this.
Scrivener.
You don't know this, but I've been working on a fictional book based on
Ah,
a life story, but a fictional book.
okay.
And that one there, it really helps because it gives you like character pages, and you can fill it out, and you can fill in kind of like who they are, where they're from, and all of that. So, and then the backstory can become another story later.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
really
Scrivener is
interesting.
only available on Apple products, I think.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I had it on my Apple. Yeah, on my, yeah,
that might be
I
true.
did. Because I don't have it on here, but I have it on the old computer, my old Apple.
Yeah.
Scrivener is good.
Yeah. I did like using it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so with your own books, you can't edit them yourselves, right? Or do you
Yes,
edit it
I
yourself?
do. I actually do. Um, I edit my own books, but I still let someone else edit, because I miss I miss a lot if I edit my book, because it's automatically in my head. So when I'm reading it, even if it's not in the book, I think it's there. You understand what I'm saying? It's like if you're reading a sentence and you know what you meant to put here, and you could read the wrong word over and over, or add words that are not actually on the paper because it's your writing. So, yes, I do go through and edit my book, but I always have someone else go through and reread it, edit it. Let me let me know if something's missing or yes. So I think self-editing is really good because you find a lot of mistakes, missed words, things like that.
Yeah, I tend to self-edit while I'm writing. Do you do that now,
I
or have you
I
been retrained by Miss Vanessa?
I have been retrained because you know what? That was this is why it had taken me so long to finish a book because I would write and then I didn't like it and I would stop and I would tear it up or throw it away and I'd start over. And I did that so much that when I took her class and I found out you're not supposed to do that, I felt like, oh my gosh, how much important information did I throw away that I should have kept? Because you shouldn't edit until it's time for the second draft or the first draft, the rough draft. And just getting through that part of just writing and not looking at it was the hardest for me because I want to process everything I do. It's just in me to want to do it. And I had to it was like a therapy. It was like going through a withdrawal, not to do it, just to write. It's hard to explain when you're just writing and you're not looking back and you're just writing. It was scary, but it was finally freeing. So yes.
Yeah, the natural editors like us, and I'm a
Mm-hmm.
natural editor, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see the detail, we
Mm-hmm.
pick it up, we such a hard time because
Yes.
what if it's a mistake or whatever?
Yeah.
If I just fix it now, it'll be easier than if I fix it later, right? It's like I have to get past that. And the way I do it is by audio recording my books.
Yes.
Because sometimes when I'm typing, I want to stop and correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting better, though. I'm getting better because we've been trained to be better.
Yes. That's true.
So you've written 2 books. The first one is about her just being at college and getting to know and settle in and all of the things that go with that, which is a ton. And then the second one is about maybe some things that happened in the first
book. Yes.
That we didn't get to hear how it came out. So you kind of left a cliffhanger, which is where I came into the picture was.
Right.
Vanessa's like, where's the next book? Where's the next book? Where's the next book? And I couldn't understand why she was like harping on you. So it was because she'd read the first one and got to that cliffhanger.
Right. And then she was like, wait, right. Where else do you go from here? Right.
So is book 2 another cliffhanger? Or
no,
is that
book 2 is not a cliffhanger. It sort of opens up and, you get to see her in a different setting. Also, you get to see her in a different setting with other people and see the other characters also that were part of her first meeting in the first book. You get to see them also in another light and see behind, some of the things they did and why.
Well, and that's such an important aspect of writing and of life in general, to understand that we never see the whole picture. We see a portion of the picture and we make a judgment, often a quick one, about who that person is and how they've behaved and what they've done. And I'm not giving anything away by saying this.
Right.
However,
no, not at all.
However, there's a lot of that in there. There's the person who's making that quick snap judgment doesn't have any clue why that person just did in front of them what they did.
Exactly.
Right? So do you think that your book will help people to see that and maybe adjust their judgmentalism?
I would hope. Oh, I would hope. I would hope that I sort of addressed it in the second book a little, but I would hope, I'm always thinking, I would hope that whenever you meet someone who is a little different, not as nice or gruff or rough around the edges, that a judgment isn't made right away. But just to stand back and observe the person and give them an opportunity to open up, because there could be a reason why they're behaving that way. There could be they could have been, anything could have happened in life that put them in that position that they feel that's the safest position to be in. So yeah, I would hope people not rush to judgment when meeting anyone, because we all have our we all have our not so good moments in life.
What do you mean?
And it scenarios, and imagine in traffic, somebody cuts you off, and instead of them waving, they may throw a different hand up or whatever. It's not them all the time. It could just be a reaction, but that is not them all the time. You would hope that they were terrified, they were scared, they were upset, and then they might have regretted it. So I try to realize when people are snappy or mean or whatever, they're not having a good day, and they're just not having a good day today. So I try not to judge, and because I would want someone to give me another opportunity to show a better light.
And I think that was what I saw in the second book, was that you really were helping people to look at your characters from a different side.
Yes. Just because they may have caused trouble, then you get to see behind what happened and why, and some of the situations. Which is
one of those things that people, like, when you read a book and there's things that happen, you're kind of like, but why? But what? And you kind of answered the whats and the whys, which was interesting.
Yeah, because that was me as a kid. Why? But why? But why? It's like, oh my goodness. I questioned everything. Yeah. So,
what book are you working on now?
I am working on an editing book, because right now I have an editing class every Saturday, going into week 3. And I want to develop a book for people looking to edit, learning to edit, so that they can help other people. They can help writers, along the way. Because editing, I like editing because I like reading, but you have to love reading to edit. If you don't like reading, do not edit, because you'll miss most of it in the reading of it. So it's just something for readers.
Do editors need to be good at comprehension?
Yes, 100%. 150%. Yes. Wow, that's good. Because if you don't understand what the writer is saying, how can you accurately critique what they've written? So yeah, you have to be able to understand what you've read. And it's best to read it more than 3 times sometimes, so that you have the correct understanding of what they're trying to say. I mean, I have done that where I have read something someone gives me, and then I'll put it down. I'll read it again, and then I'll go and I'll think about it as I'm doing something else. I'm like, Then I'll go and I'll read it again, and then I'll start editing it, because sometimes it takes the reading of it a few times to get exactly what they're saying or what they truly mean, because you have to look at all the pieces they're putting together, because just a paragraph itself may not mean what an entire chapter would. So you have to read like at least a full page. And then if you still have a lot of questions, sometimes you have to contact the author and say, you know what, this isn't clear. I've tried it a few times. You have to go back and work on this. So yeah, it's important.
That was my next question. Like, how much back and forth is there between you and the author?
Sometimes it needs to be a lot, because if you imagine if someone picked up the book to read it and they're totally lost, confused, and they've already purchased this book, that's frustrating. And You don't want that. You don't want someone to not enjoy reading and, the comprehension, and or if the characters are confusing the reader. I've done that with writing, and I had to go back and make it more clear in my and we all I think it's a process, because to you, if you're writing it, you understand everything because it's your writing, and blah 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 blah. But then if someone else picks it up and go, what does she mean by, and then they read it again, and it's like it just doesn't make sense, because in your head you've developed everything and you know the characters. But if you don't fully put everything in your writing in the passage, you leave the reader with questions, and that's not a good position. So
My first book definitely leaves my readers with questions.
I think mine did too, and I redid it a few times. Yes.
Yeah, I have not yet redone my first book. I will be doing that soon, I hope.
Yeah, I redid mine. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a journey.
It is a journey. I mean, I don't think anyone arrives 100% unless they've written tons of books and they're on the New York Times bestseller and they have more than one editor. Sometimes you need more than one editor. You can have an editor that looks at the way it's put together. You may have a different editor that looks at the grammar. Sometimes you have a team, depending on your writing and the people you're in front of. It's a lot. It really is. It's interesting, but
Is it worth it?
It is. It is. A good story will have me up all night thinking about it, wondering what's the characters doing. If I read a book and it's really interesting, I will at night think about what I've read, and I would also think about different scenarios or different options for the characters if the book is that good. And I was like, wow, I wonder if they could do this. And it's because I haven't finished. So my brain is just like in overactive mode, wondering what's next. And sometimes if I can't sleep, I'll get up and finish reading it. And I hate to be in that because I know I have to go to work or if I had to go to school, but that's what a good book does. It makes you want more. It makes you question. It makes you desire certain things for the characters. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was watching soap operas and I started dreaming about what was going to happen next, and I decided it was time to stop watching them.
Yes. Okay. Yes. When I was in college, I watched soap operas. I'm not going to say which ones because we know the ones around that age. Yeah.
It was probably the same one that we were dreaming about. What was going to happen next?
Yes. So when I found myself scheduling my classes around the soaps, I said, okay, enough. Their life is already set. I don't need to schedule my classes around the soap operas. And that's what I realized, that the room would be full of people watching the soaps. And I'm sitting there with them going, I could have taken that class, because sometimes it would be so full. You're outside the TV room watching the soaps. I said, this is ridiculous. And so I had to cold turkey stop watching them.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a writer wrote this and we're all, we're just sitting there enjoying it. So, yeah.
In the story.
In there. You're in there.
As an author who's writing fictional stories, is stepping into the story yourself like part of that journey?
Yes. Man, I mean, you know what, Cindy Lou, I have a lot of books that I have started that I haven't finished. And it started with either me dreaming about it, and it was me, and then I would wake up and I would start writing, because I have to put the other characters, because I'm really not in that place that I dreamt of. So, or it would be in a daydream, because I used to daydream a lot. And I would see a scene and I would just start writing about it. So yes, a lot of times I am there and I'll start writing about it. And then I have to start adding the different characters and the different scenarios. And sometimes it goes on and I need to actually, like you say, record it, because if I don't, then I can start losing part of the story. So yes, I do get involved in the writing of the stories, and it's interesting.
What has been the hardest part of becoming an author?
I would say perfection. To me,
Overcoming perfection, you mean?
yes.
Getting beyond it?
Yeah, trying to get beyond it, because I I always want to perfect something. I always want to do something over. I want to add this and I want to add that and I want to make this better. And I think that, to me, is the hardest thing. I don't know what it is, but that's the hardest part of being an author, just for me. But writing isn't hard. The
Yes,
writing of a
it's different for
story.
everybody, because some people it's like getting started is hard. Other people it's sending it to an editor.
Yes.
Do you think that because you are an editor, that maybe you don't let go of it soon enough?
Yes. 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 I overprocess. I'm constantly thinking. I overanalyze everything. Before I talk, most of the time, it's in my head rolling around for minutes, hours. Before I do most things, it's here first. I have to see, and I don't know what it is. It's just how I'm made, I'm guessing, because I've always been like this. Before I do anything, it's in my head. In the morning when I wake up, I lay in the bed and I plan out my day in my head, exactly what I'm going to do. And then I do it. And I was like, have I ever not done that? Have I ever just gotten up and just did it? I don't think so. So writing to me is the same way. As an author, I have to think, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write, and I'm going to organize this and do that. So, yeah, because of the editing, I'm that way.
So since our books can be self-published and so easily be put out there on Amazon, when you put a book out there and then you see there's a bunch of mistakes in it, are you the author that leaves it out there and lets the people buy it with the mistakes in it and they get a copy that's special? Are you the author that turns it off on Amazon so that you can make the corrections?
That's me. That's me. I will turn it off in a hot second and I will fix it. And then I'm like, oh goodness, I have to find out though, if Amazon can get in touch with the readers that bought it and send them a new copy. Because when I find mistakes, I feel bad that I let it go and it has mistakes in it. Because you don't know who bought it, because it's Amazon.
But your readers are probably not going to care.
I know, but I care. Again, it's the editor. I care. If it's a little extra word, if it's too many words, it bothers me.
But you're human. That just means you're human.
I know.
I want you to give yourself permission to be human.
I'm just human. Okay. I know I'm human.
Not just human, you are human.
I am human. I am.
And human comes with imperfection. And imperfection is beautiful.
I know, but
imperfection is distinctual.
It is. Thank you, Cindy Lou. You make me feel better. Thank you.
And those who get those imperfect books have a treasure that's going to be worth more later.
You know, I didn't think about it like that.
That's why first editions are so costly to buy from years and years ago, because they're the ones with all the errors in it.
Okay, seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was why. Okay, because my second book was out and I changed some things. I'm gonna redo it. I'm redoing it and I'm sending it to people that I know for sure purchased it. I'm sending a new copy because that's me. But so they have a first edition and they'll also have the second. They'll also have the second edition
If
now.
you bought it from Amazon already,
Yeah.
you can contact Joyce.
Yes, please contact me and I will send you a new one.
So if I send people to your website right now,
Mhm.
can they still sign up to order a copy? How's that set up right now? Or does it
Yes,
just go?
they can. They can go to
So I have
Joyce
this
Black. Yes, that's
.com
it. You got it.
/TU.
Yes.
Yes. And do you have
Got
a
it.
T1 is for the Trapped in Deception
No,
one?
T1 did not work. No.
No.
But if they go to joyceblackbooks.com, they can get T1. They can
Okay.
get it automatically.
The book
It's on
one.
there.
Is the book one still available? You haven't turned that one off?
Yes.
You haven't found anything to
No.
edit?
That
I'm
one
totally
is
outing
back
you.
on.
Totally
It's back
outing you.
on. I will be okay. This is therapy. Seriously.
Good.
Seriously. I need therapy sometime. I overanalyze everything.
Which is why it's great to have an editor who helps you and have people that read it for you and
Yes.
folks that take care of those things for you.
Mm-hmm.
And Velsa says hello. We want to say hello to Velsa.
Hi, Velsa. And hi,
Julia's
Vanessa.
been here. Vanessa's been here. Sandra stopped in. We're so excited that you all have stopped in while we were doing this recording.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Okay. So if somebody has not bought either of your books, should they buy the first one first before they read the second one? Or can the second one be read on its own?
The second one can be read on its own. It can, yes. But I think if they bought the first book, they will get to see, they will see the main character, Sharon, in a different setting and in college. But they can also just buy the second book and see her after that first book. Either way, but I think buying the first is better. First, to me.
And they can get them by going to your website, joyceblackbooks.com. That's the best way for them to get them.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you just are like, I want to share this with the world?
Yes. I would say to anyone who wants to write a book, go for it. I mean, it may take you longer than you expected, but there are so many ways in which to get your message out. You can write it, you can record it. I mean, but again, take instruction, get into a writing class somewhere. Get into a writing class. There are many writing teachers that can assist you. I have writing class. Vanessa Collins has a writing class. Cindy Lou has a personality platform, Be Bold You. And you know what? Just knowing the type of person you are will help you get focused on what you need to work on. Like, I know I'm an introvert. But most things that I can do on my own work perfect for me. It's when I have to get out there with other people. It's not difficult, but I don't jump to do it as quickly. I'll do anything in the background. I love working in the background on things. So, but yeah,
which is why you're an amazing editor, because
thank you.
And you love to read.
I love to read. I love to do things in the back. I love numbers. It's certain things that just helped me be me. And I think being an introvert, I found the things that I love, and find the things you love, and then you can do it.
I'm curious if fictional authors are more often introverted than extroverted.
I think they are.
I think probably they are, because they're in their head more.
Right. And that's what all the stories are. You can do whatever you want as an introvert in a book. In a book. You can be as bold, you can be as mean, you could be as, you can do whatever you want in your head in a book. So, yeah.
The
Yes.
world needs more stories to inspire, to scare, to whatever, like to emote emotion, right? To emote as
Mm-hmm.
human beings.
Yes. Yes.
We need that. That's a part of being human
I think so.
and
I
wonderful
think
and
so.
amazing.
Right. Because you get to see other people's points of view. It's not just one sided. Everyone thinks differently. My favorite author when I was younger was Stephen King. Most of his books scared
No, I
people.
don't like
I
those.
loved his books.
No, I
Um,
don't read. I can't read
and
his books.
I was terrified, but I could not stop reading his books. And it's because they kept me thinking, they kept me scared. I was always wondering what's going to happen. And it's stuff like that.
You were that kid sitting in the hallway with the Stephen King book, weren't you?
I was, or up
Before
late at
school,
night.
before school,
Yes.
outside the doors, just sitting there.
Or waiting outside the store to get in there so I could buy the next bestseller. That was me. If I had money, it was on a book. It was to buy a book. It was not for games, a book. If I got a chance to go to the store and get a bag full of something, I had a bag full of books. And I was the happiest person to go home and start reading. It's like, oh gosh, help me. That was
For
why.
those who aren't able to go and sit in bookstores and curl up with a book in the corner, did you ever do that?
I did. I did. You could sit right by the window or in a seat or wherever in the bookstore and just open the book and you're reading and you look up and it's dark outside and you've read so much. Or I'd go to the library and I'd check out a lot of books. And it's just most of the times though, if I went to the bookstore and I started reading and I really loved the book, I would just go buy it because I want to keep it. I have reread some books 3 and 4 times because I enjoyed it so much. I would reread them.
My daughter reread Ella Enchanted, I don't know how many times.
Yeah. Sometimes
I
a
don't know
book,
how many times.
right. It's sometimes a book it just speaks to you and you want to read the words again. You want to go through the story again. And it's
Yeah, that was the book that revolutionized her reading,
mhm.
where she
my
fell in love with reading.
really my first book that I ever read that I fell in love with reading was The Little Princess.
Okay.
The one where Shirley Temple did the movie. We're talking years ago, and I didn't realize it was the same book story,
Same
but it was
story.
the exact same story. Yes, she was sort of orphaned and her father was in the war and he was injured and they couldn't find her and and I read the book and I mean I cried and everything and I was young and I'm thinking, wow. And then I saw the movie and I knew exactly what was going on. I was like, that was my first book. And that's what made me start loving to read and looking for stories and novels and literature. Yes, The Little Princess. That was it.
So if you're a reader, fall in love with reading.
Mhm.
Enjoy it. Get
Yes,
Joyce's books. They're
yes,
amazing. The
yes.
one
Get my
I
books.
I have read the second one, an iteration of it. So
Hmm.
at some point, I'll get to read the second one to
You
follow.
will. You get to read the first one, definitely,
I'll read the first one and I'll read the second one again after I read the first
definitely.
one. So thank you so much for joining me today. This has been amazing.
It has. It has. It's been amazing to talk with you about some of the things I like and why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy Lou. Exactly. I sort of laid on your couch about reading, so thank you.
And editing and letting go of
And
perfection.
editing, yes. And I'm a work in progress with that. Definitely.
think every editor is a work in progress with letting go of editing their own books. Like it's just such a part of who you are.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Thank you.
Yeah. Alrighty, for our listeners, next week I have another author. Actually, I have Roxanne. The name is escaping me.
It started with a B, I thought. Roxanne.
Roxanne Brown. Yep, Dr. Roxanne Brown. She has
Yes.
written a book that I was fortunate enough to do the cover of it, and I'm going to leave it at that. And we will
Okay.
be showing that book next week. That book is out for sale too, but we're talking about your books today. So you, if you would go and find the link directly for them to get the book one that is available and put that in the comments of the thing, that would be great. And
Okay.
that way people who are looking for book one can go get it right now.
I can put it in the comments right now.
Woo, she's got you going on here.
You want me to put the Amazon link?
Yeah. Well, do you want them? Okay, so here's the deal. Let's talk to the people just for a minute about that, right? So if you buy the book through Amazon, Joyce doesn't find out who you are. And then if she makes changes later and she wants to send you another complimentary copy because that's who she is,
Yes.
she can't do that because she won't have your information.
That's
so
true.
if you go through her website to order the book and you give her your name and your email, she now has that and can contact you and you connect with you. So it is entirely up to you. I want you to put both in, Joyce.
Okay.
So it can be up to them, but I wanted people to understand that if they buy it directly from Amazon, that's fine. You will just be an anonymous purchaser in Joyce's mind, in her world.
Exactly. It'll be like a mystery.
She's happy to have you buy that. If you want to stay anonymous and you want to be mysterious, you can do that by going directly to Amazon to get it.
Exactly.
And the first one is, they're both Trapped in Deception 1 and 2. And the first one titled is
Trapped in Deception.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just
So the
called Trapped in
Finally Free
Deception. It's part 2.
Okay.
Finally
Gotcha.
Free is part 2. I'm putting the Amazon.com link.
And there's part 3 or no? Part 3.
No. I thought of a part 3, but I didn't do a part 3. I sort of ended it with part 2. And is that a deep?
And she has other stories that are coming.
I do have other stories. I am going to do short stories. I have a lot of short stories. I told you, I start them and sometimes they're so good, I'm afraid to finish them because once I finish them, I know that's it. You do understand what I'm saying? It's like if you finish something and it was so good, you're like, but I don't have any more. That's how I look at the short stories. I want more.
More will
but
come.
I wanted to, I know, but I want it to be a short story. So I have a few like that are really short.
What's the difference between a short story and a long story? How many words? Like, what are you talking?
A short story can be up to 10,000 to 25,000 words. It's considered a short story. Mostly, short stories normally are up to 15,000 words.
Okay.
What I write are usually called novellas because they're under 50,000. So they're not a novel. Novels are 50 and over. Novellas are up to 50,000 words. So mine are still considered short, even though they're like 100 pages, 89 pages. That's still considered a novella. So, but short stories,
easy read.
Easy read. You can still read my first book in a few hours. You can, because I don't remember how many words. I think less than 30,000 words. It's not a lot of words. But a lot happens, There
you go.
Yeah. But I want to do my short stories. So I'm excited. Okay, this is the Amazon link. And then oh goodness.
It's okay if you don't remember. You can put it in after the show.
Okay. So. But I'm just putting Joyce Black. Oh, it didn't go through. What? How did that happen?
I'm going to test it.
Okay.
Test it out before I put it on. Yep. That is the right one. Let me grab it.
And I thought,
But it where we can put it in a banner, add the banner, and go boom, just like that. So there's the one for book one, Amazon.com/DP/15404242707. I like that number. I like that
yeah,
number.
me too. I used to know it. I used to
707.
know it until I had the other book that came out afterwards.
Yeah, and by the time you have your 10th or 12th book, you're just not going to be any remembering all these numbers.
I know. 10th or 12th.
Thanks for listening, everyone who watched live. Thanks for listening, everybody who's listening to the audio. Blessings to you on your day. Thank you again, Joyce, for being here.
Thank you.
Looking forward to talking to another author next week. Yay. And
Yay.
for all of my listeners, remember to always be bold you and live your life out loud.
Thank you.
Welcome.